Since New Year's, I've been involved heavily in packing and moving my entire life to another city. Hopefully that explains my lack of content since then, but thankfully it's finally all over and I'm mostly settled in. The moving process gave me a lot of time to think about what my next video would be, and after giving it about 2 months worth of thought, I decided to throw just about all my plans away and start from scratch. I think we've always done well when combining interests on this channel, and that's exactly what I'm going to do today. Today I'll be talking about one of my favorite musical acts of all time, a duo that I was fortunate enough to see live in 2007 and one that has shaped my music taste for almost 2 decades, Daft Punk. Specifically, I'll be talking about their time spent in Japan shortly after the turn of the new millennium, promoting their album Discovery, and their collaboration with the legendary Leiji Matsumoto that resulted in one of the most ambitious international anime co-productions ever undertaken, Interstella 4-5. Daft Punk are a pair of Frenchmen that need basically no introduction. They're one of the most important dance music acts of all time, and in the late 90s, when they began production on their sophomore album Discovery, they were riding a wave of hype from setting the rave world alight with their first album, Homework, released in 1997. Discovery, released in 2001, would mark the first of many exploratory deviations from the previous album's sound in Daft Punk's career, accelerating the duo beyond the bounds of the dance music world and making them an international pop music sensation. It would also mark the first time Daft Punk appeared publicly in their now signature robot costumes, perhaps the most colorful, flamboyant, and technologically complex versions of them to boot. The album and the entire production around it was all a concerted effort by the two Frenchmen to experiment with the media they took in as children, and it should surprise no one that a significant portion of that media was anime. To be frank, Daft Punk's entire ethos as a creative group is anime as all hell, whether intentional or not. They performed atop a giant, glowing pyramid, which totally doesn't look like an extremely well-known thing from that show everybody likes. Their appearances in other people's music videos read like an unexpected cameo from a character you thought died like 3 arcs ago. The central element of their visual gimmick and the entire reason they've managed to remain relatively anonymous over 2 decades is cosplay. Thomas Bangalter, the Silver Robot, even once said that anime may have been subconsciously influencing their music during their entire career. It should come as no surprise then that all this combined with the fact that Thomas and Guy Manuel were watching shows like Captain Harlock and Grendizer on French TV when they were kids that caused them and their producers to find themselves in the Tokyo offices of Toei Animation at the start of the new millennium, presenting the company with the completed version of Discovery and a script for what at that point was possibly the most ambitious international anime co-production in existence. The project would come to be known as Interstella 4-5, the story of the secret star system, an hour-long dialogue-free anime film that was a complete visual companion to the music of Discovery. Daft Punk wanted their childhood hero Leiji Matsumoto, creator of Captain Harlock and Galaxy Express 39, to be involved in some way, and thanks to their already considerable international fame, he was placed in a supervisory role. He didn't direct the project as is commonly believed, but was around to make sure that the entire thing looked and felt like something he would make, which is exactly what Daft Punk and their team wanted from the outset. Animation production was handled by Toei Animation, one of Japan's largest and longest-running animation studios that's responsible for such behemoths as Dragon Ball, One Piece, and Sailor Moon, as well as previous Leiji Matsumoto works like Galaxy Express 39. The story was written by Daft Punk themselves alongside their creative director Cedric Hervé, the designer of every iteration of robot suit the pair has worn since the idea's inception in 1999. In the director's seat was Kazuhisa Takenoshi, a veteran storyboard artist who directed 40 episodes of the original Dragon Ball series, as well as several feature films for different Toei properties. Character designs were adapted from original concepts from Leiji Matsumoto by Slam Dunk character designer Masaki Sato. The final product ended up being a near-perfect approximation of what Leiji Matsumoto was doing in the 70s and 80s. Colorful, sentimental, and melodramatic, Interstella 4-5 incorporates several major themes common throughout Matsumoto's works, including the romanticization of noble sacrifice and the remembrance of fallen comrades. It's also to this day one of the only examples I can point to of an anime project that seeks to replicate the look and feel of a different past era of anime and actually succeeds. It's a shining example of how the diversity of backgrounds and ideas present within an international co-production can lead to some truly unique stuff. It also proved the viability of international co-productions on a large scale, considering the film's budget was reported to be a massive $4 million at the time, opening the door to more like it in the future. Far be it for me to speculate, but it's quite possible that projects like Porter Robinson's Shelter music video wouldn't have happened without Daft Punk doing it first. Interstella 4-5 also affected a great deal of millennials like me who were kids when Discovery came out in 2001, specifically those of us in the United States, introducing us to the music and style of Daft Punk for the first time. The seemingly intrinsic ties between Daft Punk and anime are deepened because the first 4 episodes of Interstella 4-5 were aired during Cartoon Network's influential Toonami anime block in 2001, delivering classic tracks like One More Time and Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger in a familiar package for kids who were already familiar with anime from the same programming. The premieres even featured commercials starring the robots themselves, completing the package and ensuring many a budding weeaboo would be a lifelong member of the Daft Club from then on.
Greetings, we are Daft Punk. Check out our new animated music videos on Toonami.com.
Interstella 4-5 wasn't the robot's only foray into Japan and Japanese culture, though. They did a ton of promotion across an array of Japanese media in the run-up to Discovery's release, including television appearances, commercials, and magazine interviews. This publicity, combined with their new sci-fi image, Discovery's brighter, more pop-influenced sound, and of course the fact that they were involved in an anime, served to ensure that Daft Punk would be massively popular in Japan from then on. After releasing their third album, Human After All, and returning to touring the world in 2006 and 2007, this lasting popularity ensured 5 sold-out dates throughout Japan, including several at Chiba's famous Makuhari Messe, location of several well-known anime events each year. Japan's also gotten several exclusive album releases, and Japanese toy manufacturers are constantly making new and updated action figures of the duo to reflect their many costume changes over the years. In many ways, Discovery was both the period on the end of a sentence and the beginning of a new one. It effectively ended the era of album-driven underground dance music that defined the 90s, contributing to the trend of bringing electronic music more into the pop sphere than ever before. It also was the true beginning of Daft Punk's career as international superstars, with their time in Japan and the release of Interstella 4-5 opening up new avenues of explosive popularity for them and introducing a generation of kids to what would be one of history's most important dance music albums. One that also happens to be my favorite. This video is the first in a new series I'm calling Japan Files, which will allow me to investigate subjects that involve Japan and Japanese culture, as well as the way the international community interacts with it, without necessarily having to do entirely with anime. I'll be visiting it from time to time as subjects come to me, and I might poll you for some ideas, so make sure you're following my official Twitter here. Thanks everyone, I'll see you next time.